I was muted at the beginning. What a terrible way to start off the show. What's up, folks? I'm Marshall. Thanks for tuning in. I'm doing this live on YouTube. This is kind of an update of what I've been doing with myself for the last few days. Happy New Year, by the way. It's now 2017, so congratulations. You have made it through another year. Thanks for tuning into my show, my channel. Please subscribe if you have not already. Plan on doing a lot of these live broadcast sessions and recordings and the like. So, yeah. Real quick, in case you're interested, please check out Imaginary Vectors. That's my latest EP that is available on Overclocked Music. You can check that out at overclockedmusic.com or your favorite audio download store, iTunes, etc. I think I'm too loud. I might be clipping. I get excited when I do these. Let me just turn this down. Yeah, so now we're not going to spoil the goodness. So what I've been doing is a couple weeks ago, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was working on this track, which you're hearing in the background, which is tentatively named Gumshoe, which is all spelled weird. But I have done a lot of development on this since that last live session, and I wanted to kind of preview where I'm at on this. And then also, I want to talk about the Nord Micro Modular, which I have one, and it's cool because I don't know how old these are, but they're friggin' old, but they still hook up just fine. Somehow the Nord software still works on these. I think I could do a little bit of a demo of it. I don't really know what I'm doing with it yet, but I know that the vocoder sounds really good, and I intend to utilize that in some upcoming projects. I don't think it'll be on this particular tune. Anyway, so without further ado, let me just kind of play the track where we're at. I think in the last session I was talking about getting the recording of an old school radio that I used and kind of scanned through the dial to get a cool radio effect at the beginning. I'm also utilizing that in a couple of the spots, and I apologize. I have a puppy now, and he's in here playing with his toy. So while I do this, I'll go ahead and mute, and hopefully he's not too crazy with his tennis ball back behind me. Anyway, yeah, so here we go. that's pretty much it here. Turn it down a little bit. I took my mic down just a tiny bit, just in case I am clipping on the video. Anyway, that's it so far with this new track. So I like the way it's going. Basically, the composition is almost done. The drop, the build, all that stuff needs a little bit more work to make it a little more interesting, but I'm really digging where this is going. Now, I apologize. I was kind of trying to go through and show some of the MIDI sequences here, which is hard to kind of show. Like, I never, ever use Ableton in this arrangement view, ever. I always use it in the this view, the clip view, or I don't know what you call this, because the way I create my tracks is actually in here like this, and I create clips, and then I play scenes like this scene here, right? So, and then I end up triggering those from my push, etc., because this is all geared towards live performances that I intend to do eventually. It's a lot of work to get all this together, and being someone who's never performed live, and I do not want to be a DJ. I want to play my own stuff. I want to play it on my own gear. So these are specifically tailored tunes for live shows, which is really cool. And that's one of the nice things about the push and Ableton in general. And not just the push. I mean, obviously Launchpad, etc. All those push button controller pad things have really revolutionized live performance in electronic music, in my opinion. I love these things. So, because I cannot take my entire studio, which you cannot see, but consists of like 13 synthesizers plus a massive desktop. Actually, I have about 5 desktops in here, which is insane. But I run a lot of other stuff going on in here. Anyway, so yeah, so that's about it at this point. If you want to go back and watch the really long session that I did a couple weeks ago where I was kind of working on this, check that out. It's on my YouTube channel, of course. And then this is kind of where I'm at the moment. I intend to go back through and do some more stuff here with this. But what I want to show you guys, if anyone is interested in the modular deal, here's my Nord Modular setup. I do not want to save anything to my Gumshoe song right now. But this thing is cool, and I should have set up one of my other cameras, but it's real tiny. I'd say it's smaller than the Roland Boutique products. And it consists of 4 knobs and 3 buttons and a little tiny number display. So what I have here, and you can see my voice coming through because initially this was set up to do a vocoder session. Let me find the Nord software. Nord Modular version 303. I think this is it. Yeah, so it's an executable. Here it comes running, and it's over here on the screen. So this is it. The crazy thing is, someone was asking me. I belong to a couple of synth enthusiast forums, or I shouldn't say forums. That's kind of old school, isn't it? A forum. Groups on Facebook. Synth Memes is one of my favorite ones. If you're interested in joining that group, you should. The guys on there are pretty funny, posting all kinds of crazy pictures of synthesizers and jokes. I think right now the running joke is Timberwolves. I've never owned a Timberwolf. I never intend to own one, but there's like running jokes on there about that at the moment. So anyway, the Nord Micro Modular is basically the little tiny baby brother to the Nord G2 Modular, or even just the Nord, I think it was a G1. And then they have the rack version, and then they have this one, which is the one I have, which is the Micro Modular. The one I have is the cheapest and the smallest. And the cool thing about it is it freaking works on Windows 10. So in 2017, this product, which is however old, I don't know. Let's see if we can find out how old it is. Let me go over here and let me look up the Nord Micro Modular. Nord Micro Modular. One of the cool places to go for information on synthesizers is, and I'm looking to see if it shows up in our list results. Let me show you this actually. So this is what it looks like. Let's look at one of these pictures so you can see the back of it. And this is why this thing still works today, is this right here. So the old school DIN-Sync slash MIDI ports here, there's 4 of these. 2 of them are used to connect to your computer, and the other 2 are used to connect to your outboard keyboard controller or whatever you're using. And what I have done is I have both of these basically connected to my computer through Ableton, and I'm able to then assign a controller via Ableton. The PC control is so that it can communicate with said editor. And the main problem I've had with older synthesizers and getting them to work with an OS like Windows 10 is driver support. Now, because the software is probably x86 compatible, which Windows still supports for the time being, this program still runs and it runs fine. But because there is no USB interface on here, there's no problems with driver support. So this thing still works and it's freaking cool. So anyone into the modular scene, I think this is a cool little buy, and they're not too expensive. I think they're a few $100s on eBay. And if you go crazy and get like a G2, those are still like, I think those are like $2,000. But you get more DSP is the difference. So with this little guy, you cannot make the craziest of crazy modular patches. Whereas with something like the G2 or even the G1, you could go nuts probably. And actually, let me see if we can find those. G2, Nord G2. Yeah, this guy. Oh, and I thought about getting one of these, and I probably should have. I would probably still have it. Instead, what I got was an Access Virus TI 2, which I no longer have. Nothing against Access and the Virus. It's just there are VSTs that sound pretty much like the TI nowadays. They really need to come out with a new product, I think. Here's kind of a cool picture. So anyway, yeah, that's the G2. The G1 is the same. It looks very similar, but I think there's some, I'm not sure exactly what the differences are. Oh, the G1's smaller, quite a bit smaller, actually. And then there's a rack version. Nord modular rack. Now, I've been a big fan of the Nord product line. I used to have a couple of Nords. I had a Nord Lead 2, Nord Lead 3, which I actually have old videos of from like 8 years ago that are terrible in terms of quality, but you know, I was a lot younger back then. Less seasoned with video production. But they're great synths. I've always loved these Nord synths. But anyway, the Nord Modular is unique. And the reason why I ended up picking this up is because I've been looking for a good vocoder to use for music. And this thing has a fantastic sounding vocoder. Now, I'm not going to demo that here because I'm not set up to do that, I don't think. I mean, I have an audio source coming in. Maybe we could make it work. But I don't want to make a fool of myself. I did this initially when I got it just to see if it worked. And it does sound really good. The vocoder sounds great. So I can't wait to get into this. But this is basically a modular synthesizer without the modules, the physical modules. It's all software based. So it is virtual analog, of course. But you have routing possibilities that you do not have on conventional synthesizers, virtual analog, etc. That's why it's modular. So this is really neat. I guess probably the only other thing that's maybe close to this is the Arturia. Do I even have that one? The Arturia modular. Let's look at that, actually. Let me throw that in here. Let's throw that in this section. Yeah, so you have... I don't know how to use this because I've never fucking used this plugin. But let's just scan through some of the... Oh, let me change the master controller to 7.8. Whoa, whoa, I'm in a tunnel. We gotta mute that. Oh shit, that's not working. That's solo. Mute, there we go. Ha! So, I mean, that's pretty good bass, right? So this looks like a sequencer of some kind. Is it a sequencer? It says 1 through 8. And, I don't know, but then you have an oscillator over here. I don't know, modular stuff I'm not versed in at all. I'm a classic synthesizer guy in terms of give me a synth that's already got 2 or 3 oscillators, filter, resonance, etc. And it doesn't need a keyboard because I have those, but I like them with the keyboards on them. And a lot of knobs. Give me some knobs. So this Arturia modular is supposed to emulate the Moog modular setup. Let me see if we can find... I don't know how this all changes. It doesn't look like you can add additional modules on here. It looks like there's just a bunch of shit already, and you can just route, which is nice. I'm sure you can make some really cool stuff on this. And I'm sure it obviously pales in comparison to an actual modular. But this is like cheap compared to what you would find a actual Moog modular. And I'm sorry if I'm saying that. Moog is, I believe, how you're supposed to say it, not Moog. And I think maybe I'm doing a hybrid of that. But let's just check out the Moog modular. This is what that's supposed to kind of emulate here. That looks like a tiny one. The Keith Emerson's old rig, right? Where it's like a friggin' mountain of modules, which is awesome, except when you got to remember how you made your patch in the first place, which sounds like a friggin' nightmare. Except you have unlimited routing possibilities, which means you can make some really unique things, I think. I think it would be fun to have one of these. And with the Eurorack stuff, everyone's excited about Eurorack gear. I am not so crazy. Plus, where would I even put it? I mean, I have nowhere to put one at the moment. I mean, I'm sure I could find a spot. In fact, if that ever happened, maybe I'd get rid of the green screen behind me and just throw it in there, and that'd be my backdrop in here. Which that would not be a bad backdrop. But again, that's cool. So the Arturia version of this, and actually, can we see how much these cost? I'm curious how much they cost. I thought they were like 30 grand or something. Where does that say? Can we go to Sweetwater? Let's check out Sweetwater's website and see if they're on there, because I'm pretty sure they're freaking expensive. So Moog, sorry. Modular. 10 grand for whatever this is, model 15 limited edition reissue. So this thing's probably pretty cool since it's $10,000. In some places that's a car. In fact, this costs more than my truck. Now it doesn't cost more than my Mustang, which is expensive, way more expensive than this. But my little truck was only like 4 grand. So this costs more than my 4-wheel drive pickup. But the Big Daddy here, 35 grand. Jesus, now that's getting up there in price. So this is basically out of the reach of most everybody. Unless you are a professional musician who is successful, at least moderately, you may be able to afford something like this at the price that I see here on my screen. For 35 grand, I don't know about that. So for us poor guys, we have Arturia's Moog Modular, and we have the Clavia Nord Modular line. Now, they do not make these anymore, so it's cool that in 2017 here, you can get your hands on this and it still works. I had someone ask me about this because they took some pictures of my studio and they put them on one of the synth groups that I'm a part of. And someone asked me about it if it still worked, and I said, sure it does. So basically all you do is you hook up your MIDI cables. I've got a MIDI dongle that goes to the computer, connects via USB for the PC control. And then what I'm doing is I'm running just standard MIDI cables from the other two cables for control out to my 003 audio interface. I mean, you could just run those a separate dongle even, but I am kind of limited on availability of USB ports on my machine because I have so many synths connected. In fact, I have so many synths that I had to set up a second computer, and I run basically USB over the network from a second machine to this machine, which I can't believe that even is possible, but it freaking works. So go figure. Now, how does this work? How do we make this work? So that should be playing something. Is my volume down? I'm just trying to turn the volume up on this Nord Modular here. I wasn't exactly planning on doing this today, but since it's right here and I thought it was all hooked up, I'm gonna embarrass myself on the internet. Let me look at this. Yeah, I have volume going, and I'm getting MIDI transmission. So what is wrong? First of all, let's check to see that all of my interfaces are being available. Where's the Mio? Mayo, whatever it is. Where is that? All channels, all inserts. But where's the Mayo? Oh, you know what I think it is? Wait, no, that shouldn't matter, should it? Oh, I think I turned it off. So let's go back into our Nord software, and I think you have to go to, see, this is like a pain in the butt, but when you get it working, it's pretty cool. So tools, setup, MIDI. Yeah, so there's the Mayo and Mayo out, or Mio, however you say it. So this should work. That's for computer. So then what I should have to do here is pick. You know, this should be working, I think, but I think we might have to pick my 003 interface. See, but then it stops. Why is that not working? Let's go to this one. It's one of these. I can see MIDI passing through it. Maybe I need to reboot it. Hold on, let's see. Patch. How do I switch patches? Oh yeah, I pushed the button. There we go. And it shows MIDI in, but I'm not getting anything working. I mean, here I'm pushing on the push, and you can see that is going. Actually, don't I need to make it MIDI 2? Here, let's go here. That's my audio out. External. Ah, see, this is it. Where my voice is coming in is where the modular should be coming in. Oh, maybe I have it muted on the X-Air. So this is another cool piece of tech. It'll show up. This is probably why we can't hear it, actually. Yeah. So check this out. So this is the Moog Modular, or not the Moog Modular, the Nord Modular. It's muted. So this is how I run my podcast. I have an X-Air 12 over here to my left, and it's a separate mixer that I use dedicated for running a whole set of synthesizers on this wall over here. Plus, if I'm doing a podcast or some kind of audio work, runs through here. So, I mean, it sounds pretty good. Here, let me go back to the Ableton. That's why we couldn't hear it. So it is triggering. Now, it's not coming through Ableton because, I mean, it is now, but everything from the XR is routed into my 003. So if I shut up, but we're getting the tunnel sound. Tunnel. So we're gonna mute that. Yeah, that's what's going on there. So that's why that was all weird. If I had this hooked directly into my audio interface, it wouldn't be a problem. We would have heard it right away. Now the polyphony is not, depending on how crazy your patch is, you're not gonna probably get a lot of voices out of this. So this is 2 voices. Is that what I'm reading this? Voices R2. C2, I don't know what that means, but let's see if the help file works. I think you're supposed to put it in the same folder that you have this in, but it may not work. Yeah. So the help folder is fucked, I think. Maybe there's a workaround for this. I don't know. But so you cannot read the help file even though I put it in the same folder as the executable, like the instructions said. I don't have a long enough keyboard. Here we go. Mini keys, guys. Another joke on the synth memes. Mini keys ruin the world. But and it is hard to play because I have another key, like computer keyboard in front of me. But that's no excuse. I should be able to play. I'm going all crazy out of here. Yeah! Synth Tickler. That'll be my next album. This reminds me of, it's like, it kind of sounds like the Dream Station program. That particular sound. Let's see what other sounds are in here. So right now I'm on 54. I think there's 99 patches. 99 problems. No, not problems, patches. Let's go down to number 1. Let's just go through some of these. So the cool thing is you can see they update pretty quickly on here. And I think there's a faster way to skip through these. But I don't remember how. Excuse me, I burped a little bit. And I max out the volume. That's one of the shitty things about some of this stuff is like you max out the level and you get a super quiet patch. And where's the amp that I can crank up the volume? I don't know. I see ADSR envelope 1 and 3 and filter 1, ADSR envelope 2. Why is it that way? I don't know. I mean, it sounds kind of like a Moog, right? A little bit, like a shitty one. But my point is that this works still in this day and age, which is really cool. Let's see what else. Whoa, sample and hold a little bit. Sounds like the devil is in my synthesizer. Thanks, Satan. All right, let's just. Oh, that's cool looking. So one of the cool thing is you can see how these patches are made and kind of go through and get an idea of how these are set up. So obviously what you have is you need an audio source. So you need some kind of oscillator, which we have one here. That's SL-VFM2, whatever that is. Here's number 4. Is it like, are these FM operators? Is that what we're doing here? I don't know. I don't know the capabilities of this thing at all. I know 0%. So I'm just looking at this because it's cool and it works even today. And these are really cool products from Nord, which I wish that they would make a new one. But it's always one of the weird things about synth companies. Actually, Clavia and, Clavia/Nord, they still sell, I think, the Nord 2X, or did they finally stop selling that? Let's look at their... So let's just see if it's on here. I know they have the Nord Lead 4, which... Nord Lead... They still have the 2X. That's incredible. Nope, doesn't look like they do. Maybe they finally stopped selling it. Anyway, they were selling the Nord Lead 2 and 2X for like ever. The problem is that like and I've had all the let me see. I've had the Nord Lead 2X, I've had Nord Lead 3, I've had a Nord Wave. I have currently the Nord Mini Modular. And is there any other Nord since I've owned? No, that's it. So the 2X and the 3 and the Wave. And they all sound completely fucking different, every one of them. And I think that's why they continued to sell the 2X. And I'm shocked it's not on here. Maybe you can buy it somewhere else. Let's go to Clavia's website. I think it's Nord USA. I cannot type. Nord USA. Not UA. Not Nord UA. Let's just go nord.com. That's not the right place either. That's a driver system. Whatever that is. All right, so yeah. What do they have? Products. Stage 2, lead 4, electro, drum 3, piano. They don't have it anymore. You freaking kidding me? If anyone has the lead A1, which is probably not a super cool one, or lead 4, I think the A1 is kind of more the introductory. Maybe that's supposed to be the replacement for the 2X. I don't know. But if anyone owns either one of these two, I don't care about the stage, piano, blah, blah, blah. That's for rock bands. And I'm not in a rock band. I'm an electronic musician, techno, house, etc. So these are what I want. Synthesizers with knobs, not organs, and pianos. And what is this? C2D. That's what is this? 3-tone wheel. It's an organ. Okay. Anyway, yeah. If anyone has an A1 or a Nord Lead 4, please comment below and tell me what it sounds like. I would love to know if it sounds like the 2X, and maybe that's why they dropped production of the 2X. So anyway, if you're interested in getting your Nord Modular to work, you need to come over here to the Legacy section. And again, this one, I friggin' loved the Nord Wave. I wish I never would have sold mine. It was really cool. It has a comb filter on it that is like freaking awesome. I would buy it just for the comb filter again. I may just do that. So here's the 2X and the 3. So I've had all these, and I don't have a video of the Wave, I don't think, but I do have one of the 2X and the Nord Lead 3. Now, just if you go watch those on my channel, just remember they're like really old. So they're not as good a quality as I can make now. But anyway, what you go do is you go to the modular, which I passed. Nord Modular. 1997. Holy shit balls. That is old. So this is the one you want. This is the one your buddy Marshall has. I don't have this one. This one is the one I was kind of looking to get. They're kind of harder to find, and they're usually in like really bad condition. I've seen some that look like asshole. Like they have been, I don't know, it's like people keep these freaking things outside. They're made of metal. Like how do these get ruined? And they're not that big. I don't know. So I have this one. As you can see, there are no keys or nothing. And the brilliance of this whole thing is that you don't need a freaking menu on here. You can just freaking set it all up. Set up your patch on your computer. Save it. Send it to the synth. Boom. And then you just freaking do the cool thing. The cool, clever Nord button clicky to get your next patch. Brilliant. This thing's great. Buy one if you can. By the way, I'm not paid by Nord. Obviously, this is legacy gear. But anyway, so what you want to do is you want to come here. Here's an OS update if your machine is on older version. I can't remember. I might have had to update mine. But if you click on that, and you can click on whichever, I guess these legacies? This looks like it has all the synthesizer software, including the modular. And the modular G2, which apparently maybe there's a difference. And then you just download the version of the editor. Where's the editor? Down here. So click on the version for whatever operating system you have. I'm on Windows because I'm cool. And so then you install it and then you run it and it's freaking works. Just make sure you have the MIDI capabilities. Either use 2 different dongles, which I have tried that when I first got this thing and that does work. Or make sure your audio interface or some other interface has at least 2 MIDI ports. I should say 2 MIDI ins and outs available. So a total of 4 ports altogether to get this to work. And it will work without any driver problems. You see, I have, so very long time ago, when I very first started buying hardware synthesizers, I bought an SH201. When they were brand new, like in 2006. That was my first synthesizer that wasn't Reason. Because Reason was what I was using exclusively until 2006. So the SH201 was an affordable synth at the time. I have a slight affinity to it because it was my first synthesizer. So I bought another one on Craigslist a while ago. Some kid had it for like $80. Because I think he thought it was fucked up, but he was just using the wrong power supply for it. And so I just bought a $25 power supply from someplace and plugged it in and it works just fine. And it worked fine with his shitty power supply, but like the arpeggiator was all jacked. It was doing weird stuff. So I figured it was probably the power supply and lo and behold it was. Anyway, that thing has an editor and some other functionality, which is nice, especially for the time, 2006, to be able to really dig in and create some cool patches. So that was a problem, though, because it's got a USB interface. Now, that's to connect to the editor. It does have regular old school MIDI I/O on it, but that will not, would it work with the editor? Now, maybe I'm making a liar out of myself. But you definitely couldn't stream audio over it, which I think that USB audio was capable of being streamed, and it was like a plug-in or something. Anyway, the plug-in over USB would not work on Windows 10, and luckily I found somebody who modified a Windows 8 driver, and thank God. I mean, it works. Have I used it in anything? No, but it just sits over here on my shelf and looks good. And since it was my first synth ever, I kind of like it. Anyway, so yeah, back to the Nord Modular. So this is cool. So apparently, if we just go to make a new patch, slot 7. No, we're just gonna, can we do it locally? Patch, file, new, local, okay. All right, so I don't know how this works. So we're gonna take an oscillator. Can I just pull it in here? How does this work? There we go. I put something in there. It's a sine bank. Okay, how about if we just get a square? There, so we got a square. How do I delete this? Okay, so right click delete. So now we have a square oscillator. Well, let's see. What do we want to hook it up to? Let's get what do we want to hook this up to? Let's pull up a Minimoog, for example. Not a real mini Moog. I have not the cash to buy one of those yet either, but let's just see the signal flow. So you have your oscillators. There's 3 here in the mini Moog, and you have your volume controls. So maybe we need some kind of envelope mixer, maybe. Mixer. What do we have for mixers? 3 input mixer. Oh, is this how much CPU it's going to take up? Look at that. If you see the, like, can you see the little percentage that pops up? It says 3 inputs mixer, 0.89%. I believe that's how much. Over here we have our CPU usage, I think, and, you know, just basically our DSP now. I don't know what these mean. PVA, I don't know what that means, and since it can't open the help file, I cannot tell you. But yeah, let's take a mixer and let's hook this one up. Let's just see if we can get a standard synth going here. So pulse. Oh, dude, Nick Bat would be so excited. It has pulse width modulation capabilities. So can we plug this into here? Yay! Okay, cool. So that's plugged in. 2, 3, and then this is probably your master out. So from there, where do we go? From there, we go into our envelope. So we need, actually, what we need is a filter. Let's go into the filters. Let's get just a regular, let's do 12. And take our output and throw it into the low pass. Wait, do we need to go? That's resonance. Can we go here? How does this work? I don't know how this works. Do I need something to split this signal out now so I can run into the resonance filter? I don't know how this works. That's a multi-mode filter, which I don't know how those work. Anyway, so we've got a filter of some kind. Then what else? Let's look at our Moog again. Then, well, we need an envelope for the filter. Envelope. Let's get an ADSR. Right down here. And then how do we take our output from here? I see inputs, and then I see, wait, maybe red goes to red. Let's just plug this into that one. Shit. Can I delete? Oh, damn it. See, read the manual, folks, if you want to do stuff on the internet. But this is still kind of fun to play with, so let's see. Envelope, filter. Let's throw our 12 filter D1. Maybe this means go here. Is that what that means? Blue goes to blue, red goes to red. Maybe this goes here, and then we go like, where's the input? I don't know how this works. That's an output. Yep. Fuck. I don't know how this works. But what we would want to do, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Hold on. How do you unhook the cables? Disconnect. So you have to click right on the cable. And now here's the thing. So if we go to setup and go to options, you can change these a little bit. So you can have them curved, 3D, or straight. But here's the thing. You sacrifice your DSP for freaking cables. So you can even turn them off, I think. But let's see if we can do curved 3D. Maybe that'll look a little better. And then you can also have control over how your knobs work. I tend to like the vertical. Because horizontally you can run out of screen real estate, etc. If you go up and down, usually. I don't know what I'm talking about. So now here's the other thing. Like, how do you get the output audio? This clip, overdrive, wave, warper, quantizer. I don't know. We might, I mean, I/O. Here's keyboard, microphone. outputs. Oh, here we go. Maybe we need to put one of these down here. So we can test our signal path then, right? So we take this and go here. And do we have sound from our oscillator? I don't know. I don't hear anything. Maybe because we need to, let's just do that. I don't know what I'm doing. That's not making any sound, so I don't think I'm doing this correctly. Anyways, probably what I need to do is go through and just look at some of these other patches. But I was just going to try and model just standard 2 or 3 oscillator synthesizer with the basic signal flow. You know, going through your oscillators into a mixer, into a filter, into an envelope, into I don't know, whatever else you have. Loudness control modifiers on the Moog. Now, all synthesizers, not all, but most of them are somewhat different sometimes in their signal path, right? So you can, with this, the cool thing is you can make it however you want, as long as there's a module and you have the available DSP, which this thing's tiny, so it's not going to probably make the most massive patches you've ever heard. But the reason, again, why I bought this is because the vocoder on it sounds freaking incredible, and especially for the price. Like, I was looking at the old school vocoders, but they're like $1,500. Some even more. Now, Roland just came out with that VP03 thing, but it sounds not, that's not the type of vocoder I was looking for. So I don't, and plus I saw a comparison, and it's, I mean, look, it's not going to sound, here's something I've learned over the years, and I've been buying synthesizers and into electronic music for a long time. If you want something that sounds like something, chances are you're going to be disappointed. And what you should do is, if it's possible, if it's within your range of price, go and buy the thing that you're trying to get the sound from. Just go buy it. You're going to be happy with what you get because it is what you want, not something that's supposed to be like the thing that you want. So that's my advice. I mean, because I've tried that. And there's no substitute for the real thing. It's just not. Even in this day and age where we get pretty close a lot of times, still there's something to be said about the original products in some cases. And that's why companies have tried to remake and rebrand these things, because the sound is sought after even decades afterwards. Like, look at Moog reissuing the Model D. Now that's different. That's not a copy of a Model D. That, I mean, it is kind of, but they're using the same discrete components, everything. As far as I understand it, it's like getting a mini Moog today. Like, but if you were to get an old one, and it's Moog, and you know they're gonna do that thing right. At least I assume. And from what I've heard, comparison-wise online, I mean, with analog, you're always going to have some variation between synths, okay? But it sounds like a mini Moog to me. It looks like a mini Moog. If it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. So, and I would love to get a mini Moog. If only I could sell enough records, I would buy one. So anyway, here's a look at, this was just a quick look at this Nord Modular editor. And it's cool. If you know how modulars work, you'll probably have a lot of fun with this. And I intend to do some stuff with this, obviously, but I need to do some research. Let's go back and oh yeah, we can just use this. I keep forgetting. Just push the buttons. Whoa. I wish I could find a simpler patch that I can just be like, how does this work? Because this looks like spaghetti. And actually, this one's not that bad. But what you need to do is find the freaking manual, probably online. Content. Yeah, it's not going to open. Or, you know, maybe if you have your DAW running on like Windows 7, maybe this will work. I don't know. But if you're on Windows 7 still, upgrade to Windows 10. It's the shit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read about the different modulars, what each one of them does. I'm going to try and build my said Moog clone synthesizer out of this modular stack of goodness and see if I can get something that makes noise. So, and it's a learning curve, but the cool thing is, especially if you're somebody who likes modular and you're trying to get into some of maybe the Eurorack stuff, you could go with something like this to wrap your head around the concept of what you need to build a modular synthesizer. And then you can go out and buy your gear. Unless you're going for the big $35,000 Moog modular. Something like this would be good, or even the Arturia one's probably not bad. But this is nice because it literally is modular. You take this, you put it here, and you hook whatever you want up to it, and it'll do something, hopefully. We couldn't get sound, but yeah, see, so here they go. See, here's how they got this going. Oscillator 1, they have an output coming here to this mixer. They have oscillator 2 with an output. Wait, am I mixing this up? Here we go. Output here, going here. Oscillator 3 here to here. And then the output of the mixer, which is, this is what I was trying to do. Except this, yeah, this goes to an envelope. The envelope then goes to a filter. Yes, yes. We did this wrong, but this is how they're doing it. From the filter, you go to your overdrive, which is makes sense. Then your overdrive to your compressor. And then from your compressor to your audio outputs. Ta-da! So, I mean, this is kind of a signal flow. Now, it looks like they've got the blue cables. I don't know what they mean exactly. But so here's an LFO. Okay, so maybe blue is like pitch, yeah, controller stuff. I don't know. I don't know how this works. And then you got your gate going to a legato switch. And what is this? Keyboard packed. Can you patch? Keyboard patch. That's probably so you can play it. But I have no sound. Right now, maybe because I broke something then. Anyway, enter. So it looks like you may even have to set up control for the keyboard surface, maybe. Or at least to have, I don't know. This can get really deep really quick though, which is cool. And even with something like this with limited CPU ability, you know, DSP power, the cool thing is you have the capability to make whatever you want. Which I like. I like the freedom to do that. So yeah, this is actually a basic, this is kind of what we were going to try and do that I failed at miserably. And I don't have sound from it. Is it because I muted it? Yes. No? Shit. Did I? There's sound on that one. Why is there no sound on this one? Okay, well this one's fucked because it doesn't work. But patch 5 works. And 6 does not. What the hell? Are we too high or too low on the... 7, 8. Oh, we having problems with MIDI. See MIDI going. I don't know what the hell the problem is. I swear this works. It was working a second ago. Maybe I broke something somehow. Yeah. So that is the micro modular that I broke. That's pretty cool. So if you or anyone you know is interested in that, check it out. I think it's neat. And with that, we're going to go ahead and I guess I'll call it a day or an evening. It's like 10 o'clock. I've got some Unity game development I want to get onto that I'm working on. Yeah, if you like the what I've done here today, please like the video, comment below if you have anything to say about it. and subscribe to the channel. It would be great to have you follow me along. The channel's been growing here pretty good lately, so I appreciate all of those new people and all the old people who have subscribed. Thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. And you guys all have a great evening, and I hope your 2017 kicks ass. And get some synthesizers in your life. And I'm using the wrong mouse, so bye.